And joining me now is Madeleine Albright, who is such a close colleague and friend of Hillary Clinton's going back years, and also, of course, that moment in Beijing when she staked her claim to a position, a policy position as First Lady, when she said, women's rights are human rights and human rights are women's rights. We were there together in 1995, a long time ago. But first of all, this transition and her concession speech. How difficult is it to concede to someone who is such an outlier, Donald Trump, whom she has denounced in her San Diego speech as not qualified to be commander-in-chief or hold the nuclear codes?
Well, I think it was an incredibly important speech and a very classy speech, and one that recognized what American democracy is about, which is the peaceful transition of power, of transferring, so to speak, the crown jewels. And I think that she stated it absolutely right, saying that the Constitution was an essential part of our system, that we wanted to bring the country back together, and that we had to all participate in making this country what we know it is, a great country. So I was very impressed with her speech, and also with President Obama's, in terms of the way he talked about the parts of the transition. I have been transitioned into, and I have done the transitioning. The latter is obviously more fun, but it is the most essential part of the way a democracy functions, the peaceful transfer of power.
What concerns, if any, do you have about Vladimir Putin, the role that he has played, Donald Trump's understanding of foreign policy?
Well, I'm hoping that once Donald Trump gets a really full intelligence briefing, he will understand the complexity of the issues and how they go together, and that life in the foreign policy field is not a zero-sum world, that in fact there are an awful lot of relationships that have been essential to how America functions internationally, and that are very, very important to the American people. And I think that he will recognize that we have to have a relationship with the Russians. Secretary Clinton certainly thought so, said President Obama. The question is on what basis, and how he understands what is really going on in Russia.
You got involved in politics in the Ed Muskie campaign for president in 1972. You've experienced the loss and the victory as well. But shattering that glass ceiling, what is your sense of when, if it'll ever happen, and whether gender played a role in holding her back?
We've also always known, whether in journalism or in public service or business, that it's never easy for women, and I think that it will happen. And I think we had the best single prepared candidate ever to run for president, and the fact that she was a woman is a bonus. But I do think it will happen, and we have to support each other in having it happen, because it's not easy.
To what extent did her own choice in using a personal server and the ensuing email controversy that shadowed her to the very end, how much of a role did that play in hurting her with the voters?
Well, I think that many of the things in the way that she was characterized were unfortunate, characterized by the press and characterized by the candidate, and that's not what she's like. And I think that the real thing, though, that we keep hearing, and I think is true, is there is a huge division in this country. And I did a lot of campaigning and traveling, and I'm a naturalized American, a grateful American, and it makes me very sad to see that the kinds of divisions that are in this country and kind of setting us against each other, which is why I think her message in terms of us working together and stronger together is something that we have to keep remembering. And she really urged us all to go on. I think we're all problem solvers, and we have to solve this for the good of this country, and I think we have to do what she and President Obama said, is support the new president and try to get him and the people around him to understand the complexity of the issues that are out there. I am leaving you to go to Prague this afternoon. I'm going to speak there. They want to know what's gone on, and I'm going to explain that America will never stop being America in terms of our interest in other countries and our alliances and our partnerships with others.
And what's ahead for Hillary Clinton?
Well, I think she doesn't give up, and I think in terms of the issues that she's followed her whole life, children and women and climate change and workers, really helping the workers, I think that she is somebody that is very determined, and I'm so proud to know her and so proud of what she did as a candidate.
Thank you so much, Madeleine Albright. A difficult day for all of the friends of Hillary.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.